Welcome back again, guys, to the single player world. Today is back to work in this area. And by the way, while we're going on, thank you very much for all the great ideas in the last episode and also in a recent stream. A ridiculous amount of great ideas. Now, this tree, by the way, I get you. You guys want this. You don't want the bottom there. We got to fix that up. And I agree with you. I agree. This looks a little bit too crazy with the green at the bottom. So we'll be doing some stuff there. But I've got some stuff to show you today, though. Today, we have got some stuff done around this area. In fact, in a stream. And that is this big part of the building here. And it's still quite a rough build. It's nothing too polished off it yet. But it will get there eventually. And what this one here is going to be is this is going to be a tailor, which is a great idea. It's basically, if you guys aren't too familiar with what I'm talking about, a shop that sells clothes. Thinking of the wealthy people in here again, that is where they'll be going to get their clothes tailor-made, or maybe just trying to buy some clothes from there. And today, we are not actually dealing with that, surprisingly. But we will be dealing with this building, which is kind of a weird thing. And it relates back to last episode, where we've got people who send their goods over to other places, or maybe even just get a spot on the ship to sleep the night or whatever, like on your way there. I guess they don't really sleep there, but you know what I mean. They go on there, they go out to places, and this is where they'll be buying their tickets, where they'll be getting the spots on those ships. So as ships come in here, they will, for instance, say whoever's in charge of the ship will come to this agency, let them know that you can get on the ship, that they've got certain spots available, and people can use that as a means of getting their stuff on there. And that's what we're doing right now. So what I was thinking would be, what? How that? There's a cat on the roof. I've not. Oh, that cat just took some damage. Yeah, this cat's not having a good time. Okay, never mind. The cat can stay. All right. So what I was thinking we'll do is we'll make it sort of like a cheaper area. And I'm not even sure whether or not these things were meant to be a more affluent sort of thing. But I feel like this should be just an office. It's just somewhere, some guy who's running this operation to get people their luggage on ships not lives, but works. So what I was thinking would be kind of cool is to have a tunnel or a little staircase down here into a small office area where there's a little bit of storage. We have, for instance, we've sort of got to actually work out a good way of doing luggage. For instance, luggage there, storage there, things that people would be sending out of this. And that's where it comes really, really cool, because what could people be sending? That's what we could be doing in this area. We got to think about some weird ideas for people to be sending things from the city, and that is going to be what I think makes this part of the story pretty awesome. Now, I'm just trying to mess around with a few different little plans here of how I could make these stairs look pretty awesome and also look quite good as if it fits into the place. So something like that maybe. And I know I'm doing a too wide gap here, but this is an exception. Because if you guys don't know, too wide is very, very difficult to deal with. But because it's just a staircase, we should be all right. And we'll do something like that there. I just want blocks, just junk blocks. There we go. Perfect. All right, so that's the plan. We're going to get this whole thing down here. And also what I was thinking is maybe making a little bit of a backstory behind this as well. Going to like taking stuff to the ship and things along those lines, because they are very important as well. For instance, maybe on our way to the ship, we could have a few things that are being transported, for instance, by a wheelbarrow or by those little trolley things. I don't know how to describe them, but you'll see very soon what I mean by the little trolley sort of things that I'm thinking of. But I think I've got some sort of idea of how I could do that. Let's just check how this works. So that goes down under there. I guess you could, because I was originally thinking of putting this underneath that building there, but this seems to wrap down quite well, that we could have something in one direction and something in the other direction even, and just make this multi-layered, interesting story area here. And by the way, looking at this, you can tell that there's a lot of stuff going on in a very tight-knit spot. And I want to continue this through the city as well, even though we've got some of these larger areas which are kind of spread out. In an area like this, where I was talking about it being closed in, you can't see out of it, and there's a lot of stuff going on, I think this is very important to tell the story in this way. We have the entrance now looking pretty good. Look at that. All these changes that I've done to it. I think it's going to start turning out very, very good. In fact, this whole area I've just been messing around with a little bit, trying to get a good overall festive sort of vibe I think we're going to go for in this area. But of course, market. You know, we got to keep this going on. And right around here, we've got a little bit of a thing that I thought would look cool to make this, to fill in this vertical space, or like the empty space in the middle, which we were speaking about a few episodes ago, is very important, and I tend to forget about it in the end, being in the air. And I think it's important to just do little things like that to make it feel a little bit more thought out, I guess. Now, around here, look at that. Looking good. We've got some things going on there. That's just temporary, I guess, until we start finishing off this building. But it's looking pretty awesome from the outside. And as you walk in here, you get the impression that this wasn't necessarily meant to be walked past, browsed past. For instance, you're walking through here. You didn't really look like, hey, I'm going down there. You go here if you know where it's meant to be. You know, this is kind of a specialty spot for a specialty service. And I think that's what we have to do there. And we've also got a little bit of a nice gap here, which I think feels very, very good. Just going past it and just seeing it down there. I think that works very, very well. So as we go down here, there's a nice, as I'll say, it looks kind of dingy, I guess would be the look. Like it looks a little bit more cheap, a little bit more out of the way, somewhere you would definitely not want your shop, but it could be an old storage room. It could be something along those lines for one of those stores. And that's what we've got up here. And inside this is just a very, very cozy looking little office, which what I'm thinking we will have here, and may very well just put these in right now, is a seat. And I can see now dark oak is definitely not going to work. Spruce also will not work as the color, so we'll just do dark oak for now, and we'll switch it around a bit later. So we'll do that there, and put these in here. So the idea is we'll have a desk of whoever this guy is that operates this. We'll have some luggage around here, and I've actually been struggling with some ideas for luggage. I was thinking I've got a few that I want to try out, but I was thinking something that looks like it's been stacked on top of each other. For instance, like some stone slabs, which ironically don't look anything like the stone block. They, in this weird way, will be working quite well here, which is something that doesn't help me a lot. In fact, the slabs tend to actually mess me around quite a bit, and I think that works very, very well there. Well, it will work very well for that area around there. Now, one thing I do want to think about here while we're busy with this, and of course, everything is going to have a lot of big areas, like filled in with all these small pieces, all around this place, but this little area, let's just consider how many smaller bits are going on here, and what we could do. Perhaps if you guys have got some cool ideas to do sort of things like this underneath here, that'll be a great idea, and well, if you have a great idea, I'd love to hear it. So for instance, we've got this little area up the top here, the house. We've got the tea shop, and underneath, the tea shop goes underneath. Here we're going to have what's eventually going to be the tailor, probably another house or an apartment, which is going to be connected up there. And down below, of course, this shop around here. So what I'm thinking is, not necessarily, this is my question to you, is I've asked about shop ideas, and as I said in the most recent stream I've had by the time of me recording this, there were some really, really great shop ideas that honestly were very, very, very out of the kind of out of the blue and out of the box. I guess thinking outside of the box was important, and that was a great way, and a great way to think, in fact. And in fact, this build that we're doing right now is one of those, but not from that particular stream, but one of those thoughts that are significantly more original, and you've never seen it before. It's something that's kind of odd, maybe not necessarily even correct. I mean, this one here, I guess, is, but something, for instance, like in my last world where I built a grocer, and I just want to show you guys what this looks up from here, because I don't think we've had a proper walkthrough here. And there were so many other little ideas of shops we can have in these areas, big projects around here, but I've got a sort of weirder way of thinking of it. And if you guys have any ideas, I would love to know, is with the shops that we've got over there, we've currently got, for instance, this agency, what are things like that? So maybe a services business or something along those lines that you guys would like to see in this city, or maybe see how we could do a medieval spin on it. And sort of like the grocery store in my last world. That one, we definitely know that you don't get medieval grocery stores. In fact, I'm 99% sure you don't have medieval grocery stores specifically the way we did it, like we did it in that last world. But I think it would be cool to give it our own try, give our own spin on it, and see how we can maybe incorporate that. And in fact, even if it doesn't work necessarily, it gives us ideas for other things. So if you have any ideas like that, I would love it if you guys could leave that down in the comment section so I could have a look and see if we can give it our own go. And where are some of these? Here we go. Well, these are what I'm going to be using, but I don't think that will be quite enough to look like luggage that is stacked up. The alternative, I guess, would probably be to just fill up some crates. Oh, sorry, not crates, chests. That could be one solution. Something like that could also be kind of cool. I've just got to go through some ideas. There we go. These over here, which do look a lot like crates. But I've got to give it a few different goes. I think we've got some really cool ideas for this. But it's more the background behind it, of course. You know, it doesn't always have to look like what it looks like, if that makes sense. We have to think about what it means and how it interacts with the story and this world. And by the way, that is perfect. What we're seeing there, we can see a lot of color, a lot of detail as you move from side to side. And the importance of moving like this and seeing all these different things is really, really good. Because if someone's walking up here, that's attracting their attention. We've got a lot of flat walls and stuff, more flat than normal. As we walk up here, you can see that there's a lot of stuff going on here. So I think that'll attract people. That is really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and give this inside here a go. I think it should work quite well with my ideas. I'll come up with a few more and we'll see how this turns out. Here is a new part of the town, I guess. And that is the stage that we are moving on from this spot that we're just working in underneath this bridge. As we go around the other side, I've decided to put in some stairs on either side here. And we're slowly going to merge this area in. I've still got to remove a bit more of this and slowly get this in. But what I want to do here is I want to start making a little bit more, make it a little bit more pretty, I guess, and make it feel like we're slowly getting closer and closer to the palace. That's very, very important. Besides this, by the way, might I just quickly put in another really great suggestion. In fact, a very, very kind of city-changing suggestion that we have here. And that is one that came about in that stream that I was talking about where I just got flooded with a whole bunch of cool ideas that people had. And this one was very, very interesting because I hadn't actually considered it. And I feel like I don't know what it'll turn out like. I haven't seen many people use this idea, I guess, in their own worlds. And I think it could be pretty cool to see it turn out. And that is a city with our city, which it will work out very, very well using canals around the place. And if you guys aren't too familiar with what I'm talking about, what I'm basically thinking of is a whole bunch of pretty straight rivers, man-made rivers, that are pushing around a lot of water that's coming from, of course, the palace, or maybe eventually what I'm hoping to do is have a big mountain out in that direction. That's the north direction, by the way, if you guys wanted a bit of a bearing to where this place is. And if you came down from there, the water would be coming rushing down. We'll take it through the village. People can get their water from it. People can go down just to their stream, which is, I guess, locally around. And they'll be able to collect their water and carry on. I think that'll be a really, really cool thing to do. And by the way, I'm thinking maybe this over here, because I'm about to make a fountain, if you guys are wondering what I'm doing over here. I think something like that over there will work quite well. There we go. Just something like... Oh, actually, this could be kind of cool. A little bit of a miniature bridge with the water coming from this side, perhaps. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking will be really, really cool, is just having a little bit more of a story to it. And in fact, the canals idea, I think, would be a very, very interesting look, because having them around will make this whole place a very, very different place. It'll break things up. It'll allow us to create districts very, very easily. And most importantly, I think, this, I know it sounds like kind of weird, most importantly, it allows us to go crazy with bridges. And as you can tell, bridges like this one might not look as good from the back as it does from the front. But bridges are a very, very easy thing to look very good. They're also a very hard thing to build, I guess, sometimes as well. They can go one of both ways. They can either go absolutely terrible, or they could be really, really good and really improve the area. And I think that's what we're going to go for. Of course, we're always going to go for the really good and improve the area. So that's what I'm hoping we'll be able to do once we've got this all running. Let me just do that. Okay, I guess we're doing that. This should work, actually. No. Maybe now? Yeah, there we go. So this water's just flowing down through there and to the bottom. That looks pretty good. That'll be pretty cool. Just to create a bit more color, actually, this water's in there for. And I think what we'll do now is we'll just kind of spruce this area up over here. So that's what I'm thinking will be really cool about adding in all these extra little things, like canals create more of a story. In fact, I mean, think of the story we've just created there. The canals, people go down there, collect their stuff. They end up going from collecting their stuff to wherever, washing their clothes. Perhaps there's some contaminants in the water. We can do a lot of cool things. And for instance, I mean, here's just a thought that just popped into my head. Perhaps up on the mountain, we can have a bandit camp or something, somewhere someone's trying to do something to the water or something like that. That could be pretty cool. So that's the thought, at least. The next big thought when we eventually do get these things on the way. I mean, the mountain's still quite a way away, because I don't know if you guys know, but we built some pretty big mountains. And they do take quite a while to build, but they're so worth it by the time we're done with it. But that is definitely on the cards, and we will eventually have it. I think this over here needs to just go like this. And what we'll do is we'll just connect this up slowly like that so that it kind of fits in. And we can get a, because sadly we don't have half blocks. That would be amazing, actually, a half block, leaf block. I could do quite a bit with that. But let me just do that there, maybe. No. That is, yeah, that's too much. So the struggle with leaves. Let's have a look there. You know what? I'll leave that there for now. We don't have enough to work with just yet. But I think that over there will definitely be an improvement to this area. And I guess it kind of gives us a spot to transition off to, because from here, what we'll do is we'll just carry on building up that way, getting this to look a little bit more grand, and also moving from this path over here into what is eventually going to be a more solid path, kind of like the stone and stuff there, and look a lot more prettier. So now that I'm forgetting about the whole thing we came down here, this is what this build is currently looking like. Over here, we've got the shipping agency. I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll maybe make a name for this place. I've just got shipping agency, so I never forget what it is. And not only that, I think it's just an obvious thing. So if you come down here, you know what's going on. You've kind of been lost. You're a bit worried walking down here, but you want to ship some stuff off. You go in here and you can send it. I've decided to go for this look of having a lot of stuff, cluttering up the place, making it feel like it's stuff that's ready to be loaded up onto the ship. For instance, here we've got some tea leaves that may have come off the ship, who knows, to be put into this tea shop here. So you can see there's some stuff there. We've got just a thing that I was actually, by the way, this is what I was talking about, one of those trolleys. I was trying to do a little bit of a wheel, and I thought what could work kind of cool would be, okay, turns out I don't have it, but a door over here that could make it look as if it had some stuff. What is going on? I've had a lot of these weird glitches. Can you see that? Look at that. It just disappears. But having another one of these, for instance, will give you the idea. I was thinking of having like a trolley like that, but the problem is that the trolleys look the same height as you, which is not something we want. So we just won't do the trolley idea. We'll just stick with this over here. Just a thing. I don't know what it is. It's just a thing. Things stuck over here, just stacked up on top of each other. Coffee, teas again. The simple sort of stuff, but I think it works very, very well in there. So for today, guys, I think that will be the episode done, and thank you very much for joining me in this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed what we've done and how this place is turning out. I think this spot over here is definitely improved quite a bit just from where we've started this episode, and not to mention having this extra level of detail in here with this whole piece underneath here. So thank you very, very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.